So the year 2024 is turning out to be quite a cool year. As the time passes, I get to see more mentions of different strategy games that look pretty fucking cool, like a game trailer here or suddenly a game mention over there, and over time it builds up, so I decided to make a list to see what the fuck is happening. It's quite surprising. I thought the genre is dead, but there are some cool looking games. So, let's begin. The first one is Dustfront, a dark and grim looking game with heavy mechs, tanks, gigantic flying airplanes fighting weird aliens on god knows where. There are 4 factions, the Empire, mutants, robots and robots, but only the Empire gets a campaign on release date and the mutants and robots might get it as a DLC down the line. For now, only single player is planned and multiplayer will be added if the game is successful, and that the campaign will be about 5 hours long if you know how everything works. But for us, the new players, it's obviously gonna be a bit longer. So the game is short, and I dived a bit more into this, and this is the first published game under this company's name, and the trailer was published on a private YouTube channel called RTS Diamond, who for years been creating really cool mechs in 3D and uploading them. The last upload before the trailer, which happened 2 years ago, was another game, but that looks like a prototype for Dustfront. So from what I gather, this is developed by one Russian dude who has been doing it for years. He gives credit for the music and the trailer, but that's all I could find. I'm sorry that I went off track. Yeah, it's a really unique looking game, comes with limitations because it's one dude. Best of luck to him. Moving on to game number 2, D.o.r.f, D.o.r.f. The release date is not yet given, but this one looks extremely cool. Taking the 2D sprites art style and bringing it with cool looking improvised scrap designs for the robots, the vehicles, the buildings. Everything has this look of outdated tech or constructed from salvaged parts, and it looks great in my opinion. From what I can gather, the team consists of 2, maybe 3 people, so it's a small indie group, and reading more about it, they say there will be a stronger focus on the economy side of things. For example, having to extract the resources, move it to processing and then to the buildings requiring them, instead of the old system of taking out the minerals, bringing it to the main building and then having it available globally throughout the whole map. So defending against enemy hit and run squads or designing the base in a good manner with emphasis on walls and torrents and stuff becomes a priority. There will also be an option to dig ditches for infantry or just to use it as slow enemy vehicles. I've also read an interesting thing, how one race is going to be dwarfs and they will have the ability to tunnel underground and even go below walls and enemy torrents. There will be 3 factions in the game, all of them are playable with their own campaigns and multiplayer of up to 8 players. Other than that, I couldn't find too much information about the game. It looks like it's still in early stages, but at least the devs are very active on the Steam page in talking with the community. Moving on to game number 3, Sanctuary Shattered Sun. First glimpse and it's easy to tell what the game is about, or what it tries to be, and it's been a long time since something happened with that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is an unofficial Supreme Commander, like what Back 4 Blood tried to do with Left 4 Dead, but I haven't seen Sanctuary try to ride the nostalgia train and say from the creators of. So Sanctuary is a strategy game with the mentality that not every unit matters, but instead a game where you create units on a huge scale non-stop and throw them at the enemy in an attempt to overwhelm them, slowly chipping away at the economy by hitting relevant infrastructure in different ways or straight up nuking them. Looking a bit through their stuff, I didn't really find much, only that this is a small company with at least 15 people, so it's less likely to be a clunky game, but their media presence is a bit all over the place from what I gather. They do have a roadmap that wasn't updated for a long time, but mentions a few things, for example, having 2 factions, but maybe a third one, PvP of up to 8 players, there's gonna be support of up to 10,000 units on the map, and we're gonna be a map editor. There is also mention of like, we do simulated projectiles and missiles, like it's some cool new feature that wasn't in the past, but it sounds like some marketing dogshit salesman talk, because if you think about it, in Forged Alliances the Aeon anti-air would make a gravity bubble that when a missile passed near it, the missile trajectory would change and would fly in another direction. Or if a robot had a hill between him and his target, you could see the projectile hitting the hit and not damaging the target. Anyway, they also mentioned that they want to do terrain shattering and a weather system, but only if the Kickstarter gets enough money. But the game looks great, there's already footage of people testing the game. And I really hope this comes out as a very optimized Supreme Commander, so we could do even bigger battles than what was before. And the developers are being active about it in social media and Twitter and Discord and stuff. So I'm slightly optimistic and I wanna see what happens. Moving on to game number 4, Tempest Rising. Well, I don't have much to say about this game because it looks exactly like Command & Conquer and plays exactly alike, but with higher fidelity graphics and models and heavy metal to go with it. There is also a playable demo on Steam released on August 2023 if you're interested in trying. It's definitely nice to see an attempt to remake it and bring Command & Conquer back to the front page again, but I'm not optimistic about it because of the things that happen behind the scenes. Just to explain a bit, there are 2 developers working on the game. One of them is 2B Games, which has 9 employees, small company. On the second group is Splitgate Ironworks. This group is much bigger, with experience in working on ports of games, and they even co-developed Ghost Runners. But after the release of the demo at the end of 2023, half of the company of the developer Splitgate was fired by Embracer, their owners, and later on sold off. At 2024 sold off to another group. So there might be some structure issues or management issues, and that makes me not optimistic that the game will come out flawlessly. But enough about that, let's go now to something completely different. Okay, so Age of Mythology Retold. I have no fucking idea what this game is after looking at the trailer is even less information. But the photos are like, god damn, it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. You go back, look. What the fuck is that? You got elephants, you have a camel, you have crocodiles shooting lasers and shit, or the people shooting lasers. There's giant fucking scorpions. What the fuck is that bird? Snake bird? What the fuck? And look at how small the catapult is compared to the king of the scorpions. It's the scorpion king. What the hell? Look at this fucking aliens, tree woman, dinosaurs and whatever. This looks normal. This looks like a normal. There's a giant. Right? More mythological creatures. We have the Spartans or ancient Greeks with their I don't know what the fuck. Look at the fucking lions and Centaur man. What's happening? Look at this. So this is from the creators of the award-winning Age of Empires franchise. I mean, it sounds good. Sounds fucking awful. Because a quick look and I find out that Ensemble Studios are the guys that created Age of Empires, and on Age of Mythology Retold 5 different studios worked, and the only thing these 5 studios have to do with Age of Empires is they were just doing DLCs. That's it. Why are you lying? So this is not really a new creative idea that is happening, but a rehashed idea from the past being remade. It brings down the excitement a bit, but the game's probably still gonna be fun. So yeah, I'll definitely download and try it. Anyway, moving on to the next game. So we have Command & Conquer clone, a Supreme Commander clone. All we need is a StarCraft clone. I didn't really find one and I don't want to talk about Stormgate now, but here is Zero Space instead. I wouldn't say it's a clone, but it obviously draws inspiration from StarCraft. And this game is made by Starland. This is a new company that exists for about 2 years, and its size is unclear, as they state they grew to about 40 people, but that includes pro StarCraft players, which I assume helped fund the project. We know that there's gonna be 4 factions in there, with 6 mercenary groups. I didn't understand what the mercenary groups do, but I assume it's NPC factions. And it is also said that there's gonna be cooperative mode for the story, which I fucking love it. The fact that they are working with pro StarCraft players to make a game that already had a tournament with a cash prize makes me have doubts about the direction of the game. But in any case, please make custom games. Well, the video is getting a bit too long, so I wanna show quickly the one last game. Agony, Lords of Hell. Now, I have no fucking idea what this is. It looks very weird. But on the Steam page they describe the game as real-time tactics, city builder and a PvP. I don't really have any expectations of that, but the fact that it looks so different compared to anything else that ever happened, I'm very curious. It comes out from the creators of the game Succubus. I remember when I played it, it felt a little bit basic, but it definitely had some visuals that I've never seen before, and that's why it was pretty cool. Anyway, the video is getting a bit long, so I'm gonna finish it. There's a bunch of other games that I still haven't showed you. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope it was interesting or you learned something, and have a good